allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item, meeting minutes from last week. There's some discrepancy on item number 18. Bob's original motion had been 5.3%. We rounded down to a round number. That percentage actually came out to 5.375. How do we want to proceed?
I have no problem with changing the number to 5.375. My intent was to get it down to the round number.
Okay. Angie, can you amend the minutes, item 18, 5.375?
Yeah.
That's easy. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Also move with the same note correction.
Don has moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brad is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. The consent agenda. Like we have 2 summer help for Noxious Weed. Move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Cooper Herod, new hire, summer temp, Noxious Weed laborer, classification M1, wage $11.33, effective 5/4/2020. Also, move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Brett Stout, new hire, summer temp, Noxious Weed laborer, classification M1, wage $11.33, effective 5/4/2020.
I'll move.
I'll second. Both of those are 2 young guys, we were on their road break.
Bob has moved and Don has seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Miscellaneous motions. Move to approve the Move to approve the proclamation proclaiming May 2020 as Community Action Month in recognition of the hard work and dedication of Kansas Community Action Agencies. Proclamation there.
It's probably the same thing we do every year, isn't it, Angie?
Yeah.
Okay, so move.
Don has moved, Fred is second. All in favor? Opposed, same sign. Carries 4-0. Motion to move to approve the revised CP4U reflecting 5.375% reduction in commission salary that was approved April 27, 2020.
I'll move.
Bob has moved.
Second.
Don is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Move to approve resolution number 772-MA, revised resolution establishing pay scale of classification for the employees of Coffee County, Kansas. This is to reflect the change in our salaries.
Is that the only change?
Yes. The commissioners.
Okay. I'll move it.
Bob has moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Don is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Amanda canceled, is that correct?
Yeah.
Wayne, if you're ready.
And just trying to do this.
Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, no road permits, no zoning permits. Now, we do have a question in for Wade as far as when we can start on our planning board, when they can have meetings again, so we'll find out the details on that. Landfill, we should see the numbers within the next week or two as far as the impact for last month. We'll do that report. Seasonal help would be the next one, would be the motion that I have. And then the last motion I would have would be for the equipment operator. And that's from Clint, had moved up to foreman, so.
So motion 2020-16. Move to review and approve 3 CP2s for the following seasonal summer employees. Jet Harvey, summer help, subject to regular IPP, wage classification M1 with a wage of $11.33. Effective 5/4/2020, number of hours worked not to exceed 560. Kent Stuckey, summer help, subject to regular IPP, wage classification MB3 with a wage of $18.06. Effective 5/4/2020, number of hours worked not to exceed 1,000. And Delbert Jameson, summer help, subject to regular IPP, wage classification MA1 with a wage of $12.85. Effective 5/4/2020, number of hours worked not to exceed 1,000. Fred has moved.
Second, Cody.
Donna second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, if these are all summer help, how come, one of them's an MB3 making 18.06 an hour? One of them's coming in 11.33, which puts him under the summer help schedule. The other one's at 12.85, which that's not summer help either. How come these guys are coming in so high?
We had one last week at 1806 that was light equipment operator. Is that correct, Wayne?
Well, that would be correct. We'd have to take a look at the chart. But the one on the 3, though, that's Kent. And so what you have is a retiree that's come back that has tremendous amount of experience. So we put them at the 3. The others, we'd have to look at, you got the MB3, that explains for Kent.
But he coming back, he was a blade operator when he's here. Is he coming back as a blade operator?
Yes, he's going to do a lot of the same functions.
Okay.
So,
So are we short a blade operator now then?
Bob, we have the landfill that we'll be working on. And so we're basically behind on a lot of projects.
So I mean, we will have a blade for him. Okay, all right. Okay, I just want the explanation, that's all. I'm not. Okay. And the other one coming in at the MA1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he?
What's our MA1?
Delford Jameson.
Donna? Is
Is
that
he
a
an
light
operator?
equipment?
Is he gonna be an equipment operator also?
Let me grab the sheets here in a little.
Well,
Okay, Dale.
light equipment operator.
We got a light equipment operator, Bob.
He will be?
Yes,
Okay,
he was here last year.
okay. Those questions I had.
That answers the question.
That's all I wanted to know.
You know, Jet Harley was here last year, and he's got the same position he had last year. Is that
That's correct.
okay?
Yes. Nobody moved up in steps.
I know he really appreciated the opportunity to work for the county. I know he's talked to me 2 or 3 times.
A lot of versatility there with our summer help, so.
Fred has moved and Don has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next one, motion 2020-33, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer, move to approve the request for authorization to advertise and hire 1 full-time equipment operator. No new position is being added. Their request will only fill a current position within the department due to a vacancy.
I probably should be able to answer this question myself. Who retired or whose position we filled?
That was Clint that had moved up to foreman.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many employees does Clint supervise? I meant to call last week to see.
Just right off the cuff, I'm thinking about 6.
So
That's what we're looking at.
specifically supervises 6 employees.
Yes.
Wayne, what's the difference between equipment operator and light equipment operator? Both equipment operators, aren't they?
Well, the equipment operator definitely is required for the CDL for one. And then the other is they're to be able to operate any of the large equipment that we have. And so that could be everything from dozer to scraper. This would be the one with the tractor. And so you'd have the push off there. You could also be on a pneumatic roller, which would be the rubber tire roller, light equipment CDL.
No, I mean the full-time,
You're gonna advertise.
you're advertising for full.
That one would be, now, there's folks that come in that have CDL when we hire them, but we give them that 6 months in that probationary period to be able to acquire their CDL.
Okay, so he'll be able to run a truck.
The 6 months I'm making reference to is the training period that we're giving them to study for the CDL. So they're able to take the test, and then we provide them a truck and a trailer to go and take the physical test as
I
well.
know when I was at Delaware, we hired a lot of summer help, get 6 months.
As far as temporary, till they're trained, we don't put them in any of the equipment, but yeah.
Also move code.
Don has moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Fred, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, as construction zones we have right now, we have the bridge crew doing a couple of entrances, and that's to reflect, there's a work list here that 4 pages long that we have throughout the county, keeping in mind we have 1,200 miles. And so with the residents, and as we're focusing on ag as much as possible to assist ag, there's just tremendous amount of locations that we have requests on. We are behind with the activities that we're going to be conducting with the landfill. I would like to take that opportunity too, is to visit with you about our project. And this would be a contractor. This would be PBX. PBX Corporation, these are the folks that are doing the 6 bridges for the county, and they're also doing 1 bridge for the city of Burlington. Keep in mind that there's going to be times that these bridges are going to be closed, and there will be a short detour route, but we also expect local traffic to find other detours as well, that they will take other roads. For example, there's going to be 3 bridges they're going to work on simultaneously, and then also the 4th bridge would be Burlington. And the way they do that is they're going to come in these 3 bridges, 4 bridges. They're going to mill them first. Then they're going to determine basically the damage of the bridge deck. Then at that point, they're going to make the repairs, put the patches in, and we paid actually a little bit more for the patching because we're going to use that polymer concrete, which will have a faster cure rate. And so they'll open the bridge then at that point. Then they're going to come back and they'll have to clean that bridge and close it again to put the polymer overlay onto it. So there's going to be various stages in which these bridges will be opened and closed, in which traffic will have to route around. The first one is 224. And so what you're going to be looking at is, let's take a look. Bridge 35 is the bridge over there on 22nd Road between Emmer and Dobbin. That's going to be one of the bridges, okay? I asked them to separate this up in quadrants, so folks wouldn't necessarily have two bridges closed in the same quadrant. So for example, a quadrant would be like the northwest quarter, which would be Old Highway 50 Bridge, and then the 22nd Road Bridge. That would be a quadrant. I asked them not to close both of those at the same time, because that way traffic can route around on Old 50. Okay, if 22nd Road is closed, they can route around on Old 50. And then vice versa, when Old 50 is closed, they can route around on 22nd. So the first set of bridges they're going to be working on is 35, which is over on 22nd. And then they're also going to work on the two down there on Emmer. And so the one there south of 12th and the one north of 8th. Those are the three bridges that they're going to sequence together, doing everything from milling to doing the deck repairs, and then coming back and doing the polymer overlay. Then they're going to work on the other three bridges after that. So when they start working on the first three bridges, that's going to be May the 15th is the starting date for them. And they expect to have those three bridges done according to this timeline. That can change, or will change most likely, July the 19th. Then at that point, they'll work from July to basically October, the end of October, middle of October. And they'll be working on the other three. But just to let folks know, that's where they're going to be starting.
The Leroy Bridge, because there's no short distance detour around it. We're going west, those farmers are going to be driving an extra 12 miles. Go down through the falls, they're going to be driving 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Can we coordinate that to be in that late July, August timeframe and keep it out of the harvest?
At this point,
If you get into September, October, we've got major issues there.
At this point, it's in that time area, and I can definitely ask them to work on that one first.
Because
For
there's no short detour there in that situation. And I realize the bridge's got to be done. I fully realize that.
Mhm.
But we also need to have them work with us if they possibly can. Because you get into harvest and 12 extra miles of gravel road with big trucks and semis. In fact, that probably couldn't even go to the west with some of the bridge structures.
So with that, after they do the first set, around the middle of July, they're looking to start the second set. Now that calendar changes, okay? This is not fixed. It's going to change on a lot of variables. But what I can ask them to do is start that one first.
The weather's going to cooperate with all their times, and I realize that. It'd be great if they could start that the Leroy Bridge in late July and have it done by September if everything worked out. Because, the only thing that'll interfere with is the livestock producers and the hay, but that's not quite as critical, but grain haul would be in September.
Mm-hmm.
And all that grain down through there all comes back to Leroy.
Well, that's a good point, Don. I appreciate that input. And what I'll do is ask them to move that one up towards the beginning on that process, on that project.
So Emmer, well, you close Emmer at 12 and then, or put signs up that says no through at 12 until both of those are done. And then when they're done, then Emmer.
Well, they'll be able to route between the two
I
bridges.
mean, yeah, they will, but
They'll just kind of go around a mile, gravel and everything else, to route around those bridges. But
so
yes,
you're not anticipating signs at 12th or something saying no traffic or,
there will be signs there to note that, right.
I think that's a good idea, closing that, doing both of those at the same time.
We tried to nest those two together because of that.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be an inconvenience, but once again, for the cost to do the repairs and for how long we're going to extend the life of these bridges, it's well worth versus replacing them.
Are you going to touch base with the businesses that it interferes with, like the elevators, or are you leaving that up to the commission?
It's a good point.
They need to have a heads up.
Don, I think that would be a good opportunity for me to go down and visit with the co-ops, to try to catch everybody. I'm not going to be able to, other than making the announcement in the commission.
But that's the only thing that'd be affected in Leroy dramatically would be the elevator part of it. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'll be more than glad to talk to Mark, but it might, maybe you ought to be initiated up front
I'll do that.
sometime.
I'll do that. I'll do that this week. So there's another bridge. This is a bridge, and Angie got me the agreement between the city and the county. I appreciate that. So you have a copy of it as well. And so with that, in the agreement, what you agreed to is that you would pay for bridge number B2. And the cost on B2 is, what they're going to be doing there is a total bridge deck replacement, keeping the superstructure. So that cost right now, the estimate came up, it changed a little bit from what their initial estimates were, but they have a set of plans. It seems like if they wanted to, if the city would like to, they could actually start the process. These plans are complete enough that you could actually start the bidding process. And so what you're looking at there is $97,000, so $98,000 is the engineer's estimate for the most part.
B2, is that the little bridge on Kennebec?
That's the big bridge.
The big
That's the
bridge.
one we talked about. Yeah, the little bridge, the one there towards the west end on Kennebec, that was their cost to do just the deck rehab with the polymer overlay.
I thought they weren't even looking at B2 until next year.
Well, we were thinking that it would take next year before they got the plans, but that's not the case. BG went in there and got the plans, so here's the set of plans, and they're fairly complete.
So they could do that this summer instead of waiting until next summer.
They could. Yeah.
Probably a pretty good cost savings doing
Might
what
well
we'll
do.
do.
I leave it up to the city. I mean, at this point, it's their project, but the $98,000 is, we do have funding for the $98,000. So I'm going to visit with the city, just let them know if they'd like to go ahead and start the process, go ahead and start it. As I say, we won't be involved other than writing the check. It'd be their contract, their contractor, and their bidding process. So. That's all I have at this point. Unless you have some questions.
Questions for Wayne?
But I would like to request a 10-minute executive session with Commission, Wayne, and Wade for non-elected personnel. And Wade, I can't remember what I talked to you about, what that, we might.
Executive session, protect privacy rights of non-elected personnel pursuant to non-elected personnel matters exception, KSA 754319B1.
Okay.
Bob has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Don has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll go ahead and, excuse me, for 10 minutes, county councilor, county engineer, and commission. We'll go in at 9:27 to return here.
Take a walk, Wayne.
Okay, good. Not long enough. Never is.
Oh, God, you know that, brother. You know me or something else. Maybe it's a Wayne somebody else.
Wayne somebody else.
Okay. Oh, I really Lebo got it. I haven't seen the pictures, but yeah, they're up there anyway. Ping pong to our golf ball, in between golf ball and tennis ball size. Lebo. Yeah, that windows. Then Waverly had some like wind damage and hail as well. And I had a fatality accident at 5 o'clock this morning up on the interstate. We worked it. Yeah, they should have the reports done today. It was a single vehicle rollover ejection that witnessed. So it's been a long morning already. How was your weekend, Mark?
So fast, I don't know.
You know, it did, didn't it? It seemed like it, 'cause Friday we got some stuff done. Saturday we got, oh, I know what it was. We stopped at Arnold's Greenhouse Friday. And the wife got a bunch of her plants and stuff, and we got all her pots and stuff out Saturday, so she could plant all her different flowers out back and stuff, and,
Was there quite a few people?
you know, there was, but, you know, everybody done really good social distancing. Especially like the checkout kind of backed up, you know, but people stayed 6 foot apart. And it went really well.
Hopefully we get back to normal soon. Hopefully we get back to normal soon.
Yeah.
We're back in session. Wayne was the last person on our agenda. Wade, do you have anything for roundtable?
I have one executive session, but I'll ask to do it at the end. And the other thing that I'd request we do is maybe take 30 seconds as a moment of silence for the lost officer in Oakland Park.
Yeah.
So that would be my request.
Observe a 30-second moment of silence for the officer who lost his life in the line of duty in Overland Park yesterday.
Just give them going.
Excuse me.
No, not for today, other than executive session.
Excuse me, Andy.
I received a request for a disaster relief determination for Rick Powell, William Michael Powell, who's the executor. It would have been the house fire that occurred over behind the old library there last year with 2 little girls and their mother. Anyway, they're requesting disaster relief. We've done this sort of thing before, so I don't know if you guys want her to come in and speak with you directly, or she just called to ask how you wanted her to proceed with her request. So I've got the form. If you wanted to approve it today, I can get the motion we have used before, or if you want her to come in. I just didn't know what to tell her at this time.
What does that disaster relief, what's it consist of? What's she asking for?
It's basically, the taxes weren't paid in 2019, and so I guess it gives them waives their taxes on that because the house was destroyed, you know. And it occurred on or after August 15th, but prior to January 1 of the next year. It's dependent upon if the structure was destroyed or substantially destroyed. And I think it was it totally destroyed?
Yes.
So it's gonna be torn down, so there's no dwelling hell there.
This is just with the taxes that the disaster deals with. Wait.
Or if you wanna wait till next week, I can have him look into it too.
I know that the City of Burlington and the Housing Authority are looking at trying to contact these people, get with these people, not having very much luck.
Well, I've got her contact information, so
Yeah.
I can share that.
They're dealing with having the house down and whether they're willing to give the land up
Okay.
and those types of things. So I think there's some other stuff going on right now too. So
Okay, I'll pass this information on to them, and then maybe we can figure out
That's it.
next week or so.
Gina probably send that to the city
Yes.
and then maybe the Housing Authority also, because I know both of them have commented about that.
Okay, I'll do that then,
Sure.
and that's all I have.
Thank you.
Fred, do you have anything for roundtable?
Bob?
No, well, is there a chance we might have Lindsay come in and just give an update so that everyone watching this can kind of know where the county's at?
If she
When-
has-
when do we
if she
do
has
that?
time, yeah. I'll
She
need to
has
see if
time.
Lindsay's got a minute.
Mr. Chairman, I didn't have a chance to get on the agenda about the lake, and that was my fault. Friday got busy, and so I was gonna, I'd anticipated Lindsay maybe
Okay.
giving an update on after we had that our department heads that were impacted or whatever meeting on county response stuff. And so after that meeting, then I can give you guys recommendations and
She'll be down in a minute.
That was all I had for roundtable. She comes in.
Don, do you have anything?
No, I agree with Bob. It'd be great to hear an update from Lindsay with everything that's going on, so I don't have nothing else for you. Are we still meeting with the wage study people's happening? And where's that gonna be held at?
In the economic development conference room.
Oh, and
Sorry. So, an update on what's going on in the county. Dr. Shell rescinded his stay-at-home order at the same time that the governor rescinded hers. So we are no longer under stay-at-home orders. The county is opened back up. There are exceptions to that opening. No hair salons, barbers, nail care, massage, I believe. Those are all still closed. No rec center, no schools, and no swimming pools right now in phase one. So as long as numbers are manageable by public health, as long as deaths do not skyrocket, and as long as the medical system is able to handle what occurs as we open, we'll continue opening through, I believe June 15th is when the entire state would be free and clear to open. They do recommend good hand hygiene as always, 6-foot distancing as always. And one of the weird things that the governor has said, she's limited the gathering size to 10. But what she explains in further guidance documents is that, say for instance, a restaurant is not limited to 10 people being in the restaurant. They can seat a table of 10. So Cody's family, my family, we could go out to eat together. And then 6 feet away, Bob and Dawn and Fred, you guys could bring your wives and you could eat together. Even Angie, I mean, you guys could have 10 people eating together 6 foot away from Cody and I. That is allowed. Venues up to 2,000 people could be allowed as long as they could adhere to keeping groups of 10 6 feet apart. Churches can open with that same regard. Businesses, any business can open with that. So that's where it's at right now. Dr. Shell did not want to be more strict than the governor. So we are following her guidance at this time. So we did have one new positive case over the weekend. That case is not associated with Life Care, but it is associated with an outbreak in another county. So it's what happens when we intermix with other counties. So we actually were kind of waiting for one of those cases to trickle our way from that county. So we were not surprised. We had several pending tests over the weekend, and that was the only one that came back positive so far.
So if that's the case, and the sheriff is here, or Randy is here with the lake, what do you think about us reopening the lake then? You have 10 people in a boat, basically, what it amounts to.
Yeah, and I would
15
say,
feet apart.
yeah, I would say as long as the safety of, as long as we can adhere to the safety precautions that keep our staff safe, Randy's staff safe, then I think, yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's up to him to see if he can make sure that they're kept safe from whatever might be brought in, if anything. Yeah. If there's any way to make the process where you can limit the amount of time and distance between the interactions that need to occur with lake staff, then by all means, implement those practices.
Any other questions for Lindsay?
I do want to give big kudos to emergency management. Amber retyped up the format that shows the reopening phases that could occur in Coffee County if everything goes according to plan. And I will.
Is that one?
Yes, can I show that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's in my hand.
Yeah, she recreated this. Actually, the one that was tweeted out by different people at the state level, it was inaccurate. So we felt the need to type our own. It was saying that libraries were still closed, and they are not. They are open today if they choose to be, and if they follow the guidelines. And so she retyped it, and we felt that, I think she did a great job. We had it triple checked. So, but kudos to them for helping us get this out and the information out about rescinding Dr. Shell's previous order and opening with the governor's guidance. So kudos to them. Anything else for me?
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you guys. I was showing them your document.
So,
You're welcome.
one question that's getting asked a lot on social media right now, my staff is asking me what our answer is as far as the county courthouse and what we're gonna do going forward. For this week, we're not changing anything. Is that right?
I haven't got that far yet, but.
Okay.
That's.
Because I think, correct me if I'm, our recommendation is open things back up as far as we're concerned. But that's up to you guys. And so, if you would address that before you adjourn, whether you want to leave it the way it is or make a change. And let us know so we know, people know
One more the other.
And, did everybody get out and get what I sent out as far as the governor's reopening plan, executive orders?
It's in correspondence.
And then something new that came out today, and I can make more copies, is the frequently asked question.
Yeah, that's where it's really good at clarifying the 10 things, so.
So if you need more copies of that, I can make more copies of whatever, but that just came out this morning. So, and then had damage mostly in the north end of the county, 2-inch hail, several barns blown down, 2293 Underwood, 2061 23rd Road, 20th Road between Quail and Reaper.
They're finding some more damage along that.
A lot of wind damage and
Sounds like several power poles down and stuff, and the damage to the houses. They're checking on residents now.
yeah,
Yeah. As far as I know, yeah.
we had,
So,
I saw a picture from my front porch of
uh-oh,
a white yard.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing big, but.
And heard Mike say something about it looked like it snowed 2 inches.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
was just that frontal boundary. You could see that front coming through. It wasn't pretty.
from Jacobs Creek to Waverly.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Russell.
Yeah, thanks.
So Randy, Mike,
Yeah, so with that, I think it would be a positive sign. We can, in talking with Lindsay, we can do it, I think do it safely for our employees. We did get supplies in that we needed. Face masks, kind of like what Fred has on, gloves, sanitizer, clipboards, the bags, everything to where our process that we were going to utilize is to have the fishermen remain outside and we'll come out to them because the air is the best thing versus getting in a confined gatehouse and having that. And so our thoughts were we would be able to go out, get their stuff, they'd put it in the bag, they'd fill out the registration form for now, put it in the bag with their driver's licenses, the employee would go inside, finish filling it all out, and give them their copy, leave the driver's license in the bag, put the radio in the bag. These are actually sealable bags, man, that have a seal strip on them. And they can seal it in the bag. It goes with the fishermen for the day. And then at the end of the day, they come back, they just tear the bag open and give us our radio back. We'll disinfect the radio. I think it's doable. Our employees from talking with Dawn feel comfortable with that, and they were anxious to get back to work. But one thing I would say that maybe we ought to consider reduced hours, at least for the next 2 weeks until we get our feet under us. So that might help to see how long it's going to take, like to disinfect, make sure the bathrooms are clean, and work out those details because Wolf Creek normally cleans those restrooms, but they only do them on a schedule. So it may require our employees at least to do a little bit of additional cleaning. And so I would say my first thought, and Dawn and I talked about it, was 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that would be our first call to call the boats off at 4 o'clock. And knowing that it takes about an hour, and that would give them till 5 p.m. and we could get them out processed. And that would still give them some daylight hours to, clean the gatehouse, make sure everything's ready for the next shift the next day, plus if they have to do anything at the restrooms. At least we can try it for a week. If nothing else, if we can try that for a week, and if we think we need to go another week, we can. I can come back next week and say, hey, things are going great the way it is. Maybe we leave it that way, or let's extend it on out, and maybe within a couple of weeks, we'll be back to normal hours, because a lot of the other things are opening back up in 2 weeks.
What if we just do what you're saying and do it till the 14th, or 2 weeks, instead of having a
Oh, okay.
a week in between? Just go with the 2 weeks. That gives you a good chance of seeing how it really works too.
Yeah.
And then when phase 2 comes in, if it is, then you can make some changes.
It's a good idea.
Everything's done on a 2-week timeframe. We need to stay.
You want to stay on that 2 weeks?
To me, we need to stay on that.
And I'm good with that. I just didn't want to commit us to 2 weeks.
What number of boats do you have out there on an average day, or what?
This time of year, anywhere from 15 to 25 boats. On a weekend, if it's a really nice weekend, we could have upwards of 40 boats, 45 boats, which I was going to stick around to see what we were going to do on the courthouse, because that kind of plays into it. They got some of our radios that we use out at the lake. We had ordered some new radios. We needed some anyway, but they sent us the wrong ones. So we had to send those back, and they're supposed to be shipping us the right ones. But that's the reason I was going to stick around, because can we get by? We'll make do with what we can and stuff.
Some of the radios that we've got in use here.
But yeah, I mean, I think it would be easy enough. I don't know, hadn't had a chance to talk to Brad on if we could still like run fiber, like, or a temporary patch from like the probation officer's office, just temporarily with the phone. And then we could just dial the extension for the office or whatever, if you're going to stay restricted anyway.
Okay.
If we don't stay restricted, we won't have to worry about it. Right. So, is that?
We're open like tomorrow, start 7 A 4 P for 2 weeks?
Yep.
Plan?
Sound good? Sounds good. We'll get her done.
Thank you, Randy.
All right, you bet.
Courthouse. I guess my question first is, what is the plan for the courts?
So the plan for the courts, and maybe the better person to talk about this is Judge Wine. I think he is here, and I think he was waiting to see what would happen with the courthouse.
Okay.
So
I want to see if he would mind joining us for a conversation.
Kind of my understanding, Lindsay said things could be open again, and she's the health nurse, not me. She's the one been dealing with this, not me.
but there was a discussion last week, and my impression was she didn't have an opinion one way or another, that at least things stay the way they are through the end of phase 1, and that at the end of phase 1, it transferred back to fully open. And I think each office is still running on appointments, so it would just keep an influx and give it time to figure out how to deal with the logistics for the court. Let me see if I can track down Judge Wine. And I'll be back in just a minute.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Hey, I just kind of give you an update of my office changes we've made. I have had some partitions put in between my front staff people, higher petitions, so that they are now have a wall between them. So I have all my staff back in the office right now. I was kind of waiting to see your decision overall, but the plans for my office, at least for the next 30 days, were to do appointment only for title and registrations, just because if I open the door and just tell everybody to come in, I'm gonna be above that pin. And I can't,
Inundated.
yeah, and I can't keep it up. So that was my plans, at least for the next 30 days, to do appointments. It may end up being longer because of the fact that they have not opened up driver's license yet. And aren't gonna even, they haven't even talked about it until after May 18th. So just kind of have to wait and see what they're doing with driver's license and that. But just want to let you know that that's what we've done with my staff. We've got the distance between everybody. We've got everything. If we could still obviously close at 4, just so that we have that extra time to clean and things like that, that would be ideal. So
Just to clarify, so everyone that's watching this knows, your staff is back, but you're still going to do appointments.
right. Appointment only for title and registration. Anything that can be done through the Dropbox or the mail or online, we're still gonna be doing those. We're gonna utilize our people to do the TNRs that we really have to have for one-on-one stuff.
Yes, Andy, sorry, your office, how are you, or?
Well, at this point, I still have 2 in, 2 out. I'm not exactly sure yet what I want to do totally. I need to get, I think I'll get a plexiglass thing put up over our counter and kind of evaluate. I still would like to close at 4 too, so we can clean. But I haven't really given a whole lot of thought on it yet because I didn't know what you guys would discuss today, so. But we're open, you know, we're still working and we're meeting people down at the lobby, which I would still maybe kind of like to do that as well, just till we kind of get through the next couple weeks maybe. But it's your guys' decision.
I think sounds to me like they're all trying to work with the people, and they're a little bit, even though there's still more appointments and stuff like
I
that,
think more
they're
people
still
want to
open.
make appointments and kind of.
Yes, more people can make appointments and get done what they need.
And for the sheriff's office, same thing. Our offender registration, where we normally would have them come in person, for the month of May, we're gonna do just the phone registrations and verify their information. We're gonna probably keep our lobby secured, and that's just so we can stay under that 10 capacity, because otherwise we end up with possibly families coming in to bond people out, that sort of thing. So we'll probably keep restricted access just to keep those numbers under control. Probably still gonna do no in-person contact visits for the prisoners. But we've been doing phone and that sort of thing, visitations for them. But other than that, we'll do the appointment part for the BIN inspections, for titles or registrations, whatever. And I think we'll just coordinate with your office like we did before. And
Okay, so you will go.
yeah, we'll go back to doing BINs by appointments, and that way we can try to start getting services back in place for our citizens and stuff, so.
Good.
Let's do that.
Judge Wine was in the building and he had to step out and take care of another matter, but in speaking with the district court, my understanding is they're waiting on some additional direction from the Kansas judicial branch. There were some orders from the judicial branch that went out over the weekend that did go out to all attorneys. I think they're encouraging telework. District court did indicate to me that employees are, if I get it right, they're gonna come back to work, starting next week or within the next couple weeks, so. I think there needs to be a little bit of time with the court to put together a game plan for the dockets. I know I've talked to the sheriff, I've talked to Judge Wine and the district court clerk on how to make that happen. There is a potential where, and I need to get it to Angie, if we have keys to those other 2 doors further down the hallway, and then sort of have that as an entry and exit point for people to come into the district court, have signs out front. We had talked about the furniture, and I don't know how far along in the process for people to be waiting outside, not come in and just linger in the lobby and violate social distancing. But we're gonna have heavy congested court dockets that are gonna require a lot of creativity to deal with how many people can be in the courtroom at one time, and also practice social distancing. So.
So it sounds like not much change then for this next week at least, until we can transition into more traffic, basically.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just want to ask, just an opinion as far as, what we had thought we would do is we'd have the customer come in, bring their stuff in, and then step back out in the hallway and wait. Obviously, that'll decide would you prefer we have them stay down in the lobby, in the cars? I would just ask for whatever guidance you want to give, because obviously, we could have 3 or 4 people come and be out in the hallway. We did limit on what chairs we have out there so that we don't have them just lined up. We have, I believe, 3 chairs out there, 6 foot apart, so. And that way they're just not in such a confined space with us.
Having the space available to maintain the 6 feet is the issue.
Right.
Yeah, in the hallway upstairs or in the lobby or vice versa.
Right.
If you're doing by appointment, so you won't have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people in the office at one time though, right?
We won't ask for any of them to be in the office, but we have 3 of our front clerks that are all taking appointments. So there's 3 extra customers provided. And if it's a title that requires, say, both husband and wife to sign, then we could potentially have 2 people for 1 appointment. So my thought was I would have them make their appointment, drop off their paperwork, wait in the hallway when we're ready to get a dollar amount form and we're finalizing signatures and stuff. Then we can keep that under that 10-minute. We can have it all done. So then the signing and the paying is all in our under 10 minutes.
I would think if that's what you feel comfortable with, that's probably the way you would want to do it.
Okay.
However, what makes you comfortable up there in the office?
Yeah.
Ones that do
I
it.
just didn't know with those added people being out in the hallway and the other staff members walking by and stuff, if everybody felt comfortable with that. So if you prefer me to have them, wait down in the lobby or wait in their vehicles and we call them when we're done, I can do whatever you and the rest of the staff would feel comfortable with.
Waiting in the lobby is kind of like waiting in the hallway though. Pretty soon you get a crowd in the lobby.
Right.
I don't know the answer.
If people maintain their social distancing, it's not an issue. They can do that of their own recovery.
Like I said, either way is fine with me. We'll, tell them
me, I
whatever we
think
need to.
If that's what we need to get your office to work through obviously you're gonna see a major influx when everything does open up, and anything you can do now, that's definitely.
I would think that if you get one or two and you put, say, wait in the hall and they're doing the social distance fine, if you see it's a problem, then you start telling people, go to your car. Just kind of however, whatever works to make it.
Okay, like I said, I just wanted to make sure that we're gonna have people, and if 3 or 4 people come with them and they're out in the hall and somebody from appraiser's office goes to the restroom and, I just wanna make sure that everybody else is comfortable with what decisions, I'm making for my office.
Thank you, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, did you have anything for roundtable?
I do. So I just wanted to remind you of your one-on-one meeting today with Lisa McGrath, Human Resources Group. Fred is 12 to 12:30. Cody, 12:45 to 1:15. Dawn, 1:30 to 2. Bob, 2:15 to 2:45. And Tom will be 3 to 3:30. And Fred, I have you down for a fiberboard meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
And I have the call-in number and everything for you on Starlink. And then also,
Tom called in.
oh, okay.
I've got him on speaker here if he has anything for roundtable. Tom, did you have anything? Are you there, Tom?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can everybody else hear you?
I have mine.
Yeah.
Can you put on the microphone?
Still your microphone. Okay, Tom, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say sorry I couldn't be there today. Just some things came up. Apologies for not being able to make it. Wish to go on record for as I want to make sure I get my terminology correct here. The assumption that we should be attained of approving Wayne's request for a pay raise as opposed to others. The only difference to me was that Wayne asked for approval and got it, where the others were just put on paper and nobody actually really came and asked. It was just there, in my opinion. The only other concern, not really concern, the only other thing I'd like to say is we have a new hire coming in, their highest paid employee in the clerk's office. I just don't know, I just don't understand why that is, but that's her choice, that's her prerogative, I guess. And, just want to go on record and apologize for not being there today.
Thank you, Tom.
Have a good day.
You too.
Mr. Chairman, could I address that?
Go ahead.
Typically, whenever we do resolutions like that, and if there's a change that's gonna be made, we do it in that month on the resolution. We've done that in years past. I mean, I've done it many times, other departments have done it. So it wasn't trying to sneak it through type of thing. It was on the resolution. And you guys, if you had questions, you certainly could have talked to me.
Okay. Yeah, an executive session.
I guess my thought on, my thought on that a little bit, Angie, we did promote Clinton's daughter to a supervisory position, and he was increased in wages. But he's also supervising 6 employees. where your appointment was advanced to the next reclassification is somewhat of a title only and not supervising employees, because you still do all that. And as long as you're here. And when you're gone, of course, she's gonna be supervised. But to me, there is a significant difference in those two promotions. One person is supervising 6 employees. So his responsibilities are much greater than they were to start with, because he was just an operator.
She's taking on chief deputy.
I'm sorry,
She's being chief deputy.
I fully understand that, but
And she's
it's more of a
also-
title than it is a supervision.
She's actually taking on some extra duties as well.
And I don't know all those details,
You don't, you certainly don't.
but to me, it was too big of a jump, and I fully support everybody. I mean, we got a great, as a whole, great bunch of employees, but that's just my belief.
So it's time to start thinking about your pay plan adjustment that you want for 2021 budget. This is the memorandum that you usually send out, and it's just in draft form. So, I mean, this doesn't have to be approved today, but I just wanted to hand it out to give you some time to be thinking about kind of what you want to do.
Wade, you had an executive session for us.
I do, I was told there was discussion about a property of some sort that needed.
Disaster declaration for a property that burned in town.
So,
And I can get with you on this later.
She's gonna gather some information and get some, we're gonna address it next week.
I need to request an executive session, for the permission to recess into executive session for consultation with the county counselor to discuss potential litigation for matters deemed privileged under the attorney-client relationship with exception to coma, KSA 754319B2, myself and the board.
For how long?
20 minutes.
So moved.
20 minutes. Bob moved. Don seconded. All in favor? Opposed, same sign. We'll go in for 20 minutes to return here, starting at 10:21.
When you guys come back, are you gonna take up the courthouse and any other stuff on it, or
No,
you want us to maintain the lobby?
sounds like we're gonna stay where we're at for the next week.
Okay, okay. Just keep going like we were, and
Just other areas, get more information and
adjust as we go.
Yeah.
Okay,
baby steps.
there you go. All right. I hope your house is fine up there.
Just put it in the middle of it.
Did you really? I had a company call me about a metal roof, my house in Gridley. From the damage last year.
We got about 364.
Morning, sir. I'm blind to talk to him. I'm talking to him. Yeah. I rebooted my computer, but you know, on for 3 weeks. Yeah. I thought it was stuff that was strange. Yeah, I don't know.
ABC 123.
Yeah, but she probably has it first. But I can't call her. That's a good idea, actually. I'm tired. I'll call you. Going up there, I'll call you. I got nothing to do. Okay.
Five, six radios, maybe. You guys have any idea? Oh, we had one, yeah.
COVID-19. Because we more much chat.
It's horrible now. We're gonna put a second.
You never know, but for now, but it wouldn't hurt. Even if I say they didn't have just one set of shots. Everything else is just mobile stuff. That would be fun. Who's your question? Yeah, you basically got to go all. Hey, Chief.
I think that's all we had for the meeting. We're just gonna get through special issue checks. Just on the siding off the north side of the house. Which is the whole block. Chicken coop with blue down. Ham and Jerry's. Crazy. Yes. Kate didn't send me any pictures of our place. Or just the one of the yard.
There's three vouchers and they'll make up over half of that.
Bruce do that real quick.
Don, make sure we looked at it, I looked at it.
Take one pass on. Is there any changes you'd like to make to that before we send them out? I think of them this week, we'll have a discussion on it next Monday.
We have those. We already have one of those written. I mean, Rand, we already have that. Rand, are all these are in this.
Yes, they were all in that yellow.
trying to deal with something right now, Bob.
No, in fact, we were gonna get it back, we were gonna do it yesterday, and it was a little bit windy. So we decided not to go down to the timber.
Did not say that.
But we did, some other things came up, it was nice enough to do it, so. I did ride bicycle for a while. Why am I fishing?
If they catch, what if you don't catch that out there? River's about 3, probably 3 or 4 feet, maybe even 5, but you look hard to handle.
Any other business for the meeting?
I would say one other thing. I just want to tell you guys that I know being new commissioners, a year and a half in, and Don, you've been here about 4 years. I know that there's a lot of things that go on that you guys don't have the memory of because you haven't worked here for 19 years like I have. And so, you know, if we could somehow work together on questions you might have, my door is open. You're welcome to come talk to me. As an elected official, I mean, we should work together. So in the future, if there's something that comes up like that, if you could come and talk to me, I would greatly appreciate it because I could explain a lot of things to you and I have a lot of knowledge. I mean, I have worked here a long time. So I just want to let you know that, you know, I am open to having discussions with you if you have questions.
Yeah, I've never said anything about you not being open, I've never said anything about you not knowing your job very, very, very well. But those 2 deals I see on CB5 cropped up all at once.
Well,
And to me, that's not right.
well, and if you go back in history, I mean, when changes are made, we do those in April, and it wasn't anything sneaky or under the table. It was just how we've always done it. And I know sometimes how you've always done it isn't maybe the way to always do it.
But the timing's not right when you just do it all at once, the same day we're gonna vote, so.
Well, that's not how it,
It's history, so.
I thought it was last week.
We'll adjourn at 10:55.